There exists within the fabric of existence a principle so fundamental, so all-encompassing, that it governs not just the rise and fall of civilization, but the trajectory of every individual soul who walks this earth. It is the principle of continuous growth, the philosophy of endless development, and it operates with the precision of natural law, whether you acknowledge it or not. But here is what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary, the thriving from the merely surviving. Those who understand this principle and align themselves with its power transform not just their circumstances, but their very essence. They become living embodiments of possibility itself. The secret is not hidden in some distant philosophy or ancient text. It pulses through every moment of your existence, waiting for you to recognize its presence and harness its infinite potential. Growth is not an option in this universe. It is the fundamental directive of life itself. Every cell in your body demonstrates this truth. Every breath you take confirms it. Every heartbeat echoes its rhythm. You are either growing or you are dying, expanding or contracting, moving forward or sliding backward. There is no neutral ground in the economy of existence. The moment you decide to remain static, to maintain the status quo, to rest on past achievements, you have chosen decline. But when you embrace the philosophy of endless development, you step into alignment with the very force that created galaxies, that transforms seeds into mighty oaks, that turns humble beginnings into extraordinary legacies. This is not mere motivation speaking to you now. This is the voice of universal truth, calling you to recognize your birthright as a being designed for limitless expansion. You arrive in this world with a brain containing more neural connections than there are stars in the known universe. Yet most people utilize only a fraction of this incredible gift. They accept limitations that exist nowhere but in their own thinking. They bow to circumstances that have power only because they grant them power. They speak of impossible dreams while living in a reality that proves impossibility is merely the invention of limited imagination. The philosophy of continuous growth demands that you reject these artificial constraints and embrace the truth of your unlimited capacity for development. Every expert was once a beginner. Every master was once a novice. Every giant was once small. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary things and those who settle for mediocrity is not talent, not luck, not circumstances, but the decision to commit to endless growth, regardless of current conditions. When you truly understand this principle, you realize that your past does not determine your future unless you allow it to. Your current skills do not limit your potential achievements unless you believe they do. Your present circumstances do not define your possibilities unless you surrender to them. The philosophy of endless development teaches that every moment presents an opportunity for transformation. Every challenge offers a chance for expansion. Every setback contains the seeds of greater comeback. This is the secret that the truly successful have discovered. They view their lives not as fixed entities, but as ongoing experiments in human potential.
They understand that the question is never whether they can grow, but only how fast they choose to grow. The universe itself demonstrates this principle at every level of existence. Stars are born from cosmic dust. Mountains rise from geological pressures. Rivers carve canyons through solid rock. And life itself emerged from primordial simplicity to create the magnificent complexity you see around you. Nothing in nature accepts limitation as permanent. Everything strives, evolves, adapts, and transcends its previous form. You are not separate from this natural order. You are an expression of it. The same creative force that shapes galaxies flows through your consciousness. The same evolutionary drive that created life from matter beats within your heart. The same transformative power that builds civilizations resides in your mind. When you align with this truth, growth becomes not just possible, but inevitable. The philosophy of continuous growth recognizes that comfort is the enemy of greatness. Every time you choose ease over challenge, familiarity over adventure, safety over growth, you move against the fundamental current of existence. The river of life flows always toward greater complexity, higher consciousness, expanded capability. You can choose to swim with this current and experience the exhilaration of rapid progress, or you can fight against it and exhaust yourself, maintaining a position that the universe itself conspires to move you beyond.
The choice is always yours, but the consequences are governed by laws as reliable as gravity. Those who embrace continuous growth discover that their capacity for learning accelerates over time. Each new skill acquired makes the next skill easier to master. Each challenge overcome increases confidence for facing greater challenges. Each boundary transcended reveals new horizons previously invisible. This is the compound effect of endless development, where progress builds upon progress in an ascending spiral of achievement that knows no upper limit except those imposed by imagination. The secret lies in understanding that growth is not about reaching a final destination, but about becoming the kind of person who is always moving toward greater possibilities. It is not about achieving perfection, but about embracing the perfect process of perpetual improvement. It is not about eliminating all problems, but about developing the capacity to solve increasingly complex and meaningful problems. When you adopt this mindset, failure transforms from something to be avoided into something to be welcomed as essential feedback in the growth process. Obstacles become opportunities for developing new strengths. Criticism becomes valuable input for course correction. Competition becomes inspiration for raising your standard. Everything that once seemed like an impediment to success reveals itself as an invitation to expand beyond your current limitations. The philosophy of endless development teaches that your mind is not a container to be filled, but a fire to be ignited. Knowledge does not occupy space that prevents more knowledge from entering. It creates new space for even greater understanding. Skills do not compete with each other for room in your capabilities. They multiply each other's effectiveness. Experiences do not weigh you down with their accumulated mass. They lift you up with their transformed wisdom. This is why the most successful people throughout history have been voracious learners, insatiable questioners, relentless experimenters. They understood that the capacity for growth itself grows with use. The more you learn, the more you can learn. The more you challenge yourself, the more challenge you can handle. The more you achieve, the more you become capable of achieving. This exponential nature of human development is perhaps the most exciting truth about your existence. You are not condemned to linear progress, doomed to inch forward at a predictable pace. You are designed for quantum leaps, sudden breakthroughs, miraculous transformations that can reshape your entire reality in moments of profound realization. But these quantum leaps do not happen to the passive observer. They happen to the active participant in the philosophy of continuous growth. Every day you wake up with the same fundamental choice before you. You can approach the day as someone who has reached their peak and now must simply maintain their position, or you can approach it as someone who is just beginning to discover what they are truly capable of becoming. You can see yourself as someone whose best days are behind them, or as someone whose greatest achievements are still waiting to be born. You can view your current skills as the limits of your capability, or as the foundation for building something magnificent beyond your present imagination. The philosophy of endless development demands that you choose growth, choose possibility, choose the adventure of becoming more than you have ever been before. This is not about blind optimism or unrealistic expectations. This is about recognizing that the same intelligence that orchestrates the functioning of your body
without your conscious effort, that coordinates the movements of planets without your supervision, that maintains the delicate balance of ecosystems without your intervention, is available to assist you in your own development when you align with its principles. The universe is not neutral about your growth. It is actively supportive of any genuine effort to expand beyond limiting conditions. But this support requires your participation, your commitment, your willingness to stretch beyond comfort zones, and embrace the temporary discomfort that always accompanies genuine development. The secret of continuous growth is that it becomes easier the longer you practice it. Just as physical exercise becomes less difficult as your strength increases, mental and emotional development becomes more natural as your capacity expands. What seems impossible from your current vantage point becomes not just possible but inevitable when you have grown into the person capable of achieving it. This is why the philosophy of endless development focuses not primarily on external goals, but on internal transformation. When you become the right kind of person, the right kinds of results follow naturally. When you develop the right kinds of capabilities, the right kinds of opportunities appear. When you cultivate the right kinds of attitudes, the right kinds of circumstances manifest.
The external world is always a reflection of your internal development. Change yourself, and you change your world. Grow yourself, and you grow your possibilities. Expand yourself, and you expand your reality. This is the immutable law that governs all achievement, all success, all transformation. Most people approach their limitations backward. They try to change their circumstances in order to feel better about themselves, when the truth is, they must first change themselves in order to create better circumstances. They attempt to manipulate external conditions to match their internal comfort zones. When growth requires expanding internal comfort zones to accommodate greater external possibilities, they seek to rearrange the world to fit their current level of development. When the philosophy of continuous growth calls them to develop themselves, to match the world's infinite potential for positive change. The secret is that you already possess everything necessary for unlimited growth. The power is not outside you waiting to be discovered. It is inside you waiting to be released. The knowledge is not in some distant library waiting to be found. It is in your accumulated experience, waiting to be transformed into wisdom. The opportunity is not in some future moment waiting to arrive. It is in this present moment waiting to be seized. The philosophy of endless development teaches that the gap between where you are and where you want to be is not measured in time or circumstances or resources, but in decisions and actions and persistence. Every expert began as a beginner and bridged that gap through consistent application of growth principles.
Every master started as a student and closed that distance through relentless commitment to improvement. Every success story began with someone who decided that their current reality was not their final reality, and proceeded to prove that belief through sustained effort toward expansion. You stand at this same crossroads right now. Behind you lies everything you have been, everything you have accomplished, everything you have learned. Before you stretches everything you could become, everything you could achieve, everything you could contribute. The philosophy of continuous growth teaches that this moment of choice is not unique to your current situation. It is the eternal condition of conscious existence. Every moment presents the same fundamental decision. Will you use this moment to expand or contract, to grow or stagnate, to move toward your potential or away from it? The accumulation of these moment-by-moment choices creates the trajectory of your entire life. The secret of continuous growth is that it transforms every aspect of your existence. When you commit to endless development, your relationships improve because you become more interesting, more valuable, more capable of contributing to others' lives. Your career advances because you develop skills and insights that make you indispensable. Your health improves because you understand the connection between physical vitality and mental growth.
Your finances increase because you create more value and solve bigger problems.
Your happiness deepens because you are living in alignment with your fundamental nature as a being designed for expansion. Everything gets better when you get better. Everything improves when you improve. Everything grows when you grow. This is not coincidence. This is consequence. The philosophy of endless development recognizes that you are not a finished product, but a work in progress, not a completed sculpture, but raw material being shaped by every choice you make. The chisel is in your hands. The vision is in your mind. The power is in your will. You can create a masterpiece of human development, or you can leave the marble uncarved. You can become a monument to human potential, or you can remain a block of unused possibility. The choice is always yours. The tools are always available. The time is always now. Do not wait for permission to grow. No one can give it to you. Do not wait for perfect conditions. They will never arrive. Do not wait for complete understanding. It comes through action, not contemplation. Do not wait for guarantees. The only guarantee is that refusing to grow guarantees stagnation. The philosophy of continuous growth demands that you begin where you are, with what you have right now. Take the first step, even if you cannot see the entire staircase. Make the first effort, even if you do not know all the efforts that will be required. Begin the first learning, even if you cannot imagine all you will need to learn. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, but it continues with 1,000 more steps, each one taken in faith that the path will unfold as you walk it.
But the secret of continuous growth is that it creates its own momentum. Like a wheel that turns more easily as it picks up speed, your development accelerates as you build habits of improvement. Each day of growth makes the next day of growth more likely. Each skill developed makes developing the next skill more efficient. Each challenge overcome makes facing the next challenge less intimidating. Each breakthrough achieved makes the next breakthrough more probable. This momentum effect is why consistency matters more than intensity, why persistent effort trumps sporadic brilliance, why the person who grows steadily over time will ultimately surpass the person who grows rapidly but inconsistently. The philosophy of endless development teaches that you are both the sculptor and the sculpture, both the teacher and the student, both the author and the character in the story of your life. You have the power to rewrite any chapter that does not serve your growth. You have the ability to learn any skill that supports your development. You have the capacity to overcome any obstacle that blocks your expansion. You have the right to become anyone you have the courage to become. This is not theory. This is reality. This is not motivation. This is truth. This is not possibility. This is your birthright as a conscious being in a universe that supports unlimited growth for those who align with its principles. The secret that separates those who achieve extraordinary results from those who settle for ordinary outcomes is not superior genetics or lucky circumstances or special privileges. It is the decision to embrace continuous growth as a way of life, to adopt endless development as a core philosophy, to make expansion of capabilities and consciousness the primary organizing principle of existence. They understand that in a rapidly changing world, the ability to learn is more valuable than any specific knowledge. The capacity to adapt is more important than any particular skill. The willingness to grow is more crucial than any current capability. This means that you must become a student for life. You must read books that challenge your thinking, attend seminars that expand your knowledge, seek mentors who elevate your performance, engage in conversations that broaden your perspective. You must approach every experience as a classroom, every person as a teacher, every challenge as a curriculum. When you commit to continuous learning, you develop what psychologists call a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset creates confidence because it means that any current limitation is temporary. Any present weakness is changeable. Any existing gap can be filled through effort and education. And as you commit to your own growth, you must also commit to helping others grow, for there is no faster way to build confidence than to help others build theirs. When you believe in someone else's potential, you strengthen your belief in human potential. When you encourage someone else's dreams, you validate the power of dreams. When you support someone else's growth, you affirm the possibility of growth.
When you celebrate someone else's success, you create more success in the world. This is not altruism for its own sake. This is confidence building through contribution. This is self-assurance through service. This is personal empowerment through empowering others. Make it your mission to lift up everyone you encounter, to see the best in every person you meet, to encourage the potential in every individual you influence. Become known as someone who believes in people before they believe in themselves, who sees possibilities that others cannot see, who offers hope when others offer doubt. In doing so, you will create a network of people who believe in you because you believed in them first. You will attract opportunities because you create opportunities for others. You will build confidence in yourself by building confidence in others. But perhaps the greatest confidence builder of all is the willingness to face your fears directly, to walk toward what scares you rather than away from it, to use fear as a compass pointing toward your growth rather than a wall blocking your progress. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is your guide. It shows you exactly where you need to go to expand your comfort zone, exactly what you need to do to increase your capacity, exactly how you need to grow to become who you are meant to be. Every fear you face and overcome makes you stronger. Every scary situation you walk into and navigate successfully builds your self-trust. Every frightening challenge you accept and complete expands your sense of what is possible for you. This does not mean being reckless or stupid. This means being strategic about your fear, using it as information rather than allowing it to control your decisions. When fear tells you not to apply for that job, apply anyway. When fear tells you not to start that business, start anyway.
When fear tells you not to have that conversation, have it anyway. When fear tells you not to take that risk, take it anyway. Not because fear is always wrong, but because growth always lives on the other side of fear. Not because you should ignore fear, but because you should investigate it, understand it, and then act in spite of it. And as you face your fears, you must also learn to celebrate your progress, to acknowledge your growth, to recognize your improvements, no matter how small they may seem. Most people are their own harshest critics, focusing more on their mistakes than their successes, more on their shortcomings than their strengths, more on how far they have to go than how far they have come. But confidence is built through recognition of progress, through celebration of growth, through acknowledgement of improvement. You must become your own biggest fan, your own best supporter, your own most enthusiastic cheerleader. This does not mean becoming arrogant or delusional. This means becoming realistic about your achievements, honest about your progress, truthful about your growth. Keep a success journal where you record every victory, no matter how small. Write down every compliment you receive, every goal you achieve, every challenge you overcome, every fear you face, every skill you develop. Review this journal regularly to remind yourself of your capability, your growth, your progress, your strength. Let this evidence accumulate until it becomes undeniable proof of your potential, unshakable foundation for your confidence, irrefutable testimony to your power. But celebrating your progress must be balanced with another crucial skill that confident people master and insecure people struggle with. This is the ability to receive compliments gracefully, to accept praise genuinely, to internalize positive feedback authentically. When someone compliments you, your automatic response reveals your level of self-confidence. If you immediately deflect the compliment, minimize your achievement, or redirect the praise to someone else, you are training yourself to reject positive input about yourself. You are programming your subconscious mind to believe that you are not worthy of recognition, not deserving of praise, not capable of excellence.
But when you simply say thank you and accept the compliment as truth, you are training yourself to receive positive input about yourself. You are programming your subconscious mind to believe that you are worthy of recognition, deserving of praise, capable of excellence. This simple shift in how you respond to compliments can transform your self-image over time. Start paying attention to how you handle praise and consciously choose to accept it rather than reject it. Let compliments land on you rather than bounce off you. Allow positive feedback to sink in rather than washing over you. This is not about becoming conceited or prideful. This is about becoming realistic about your value and receptive to truth about your worth. And while you learn to accept compliments from others, you must also learn to stop the destructive habit that kills more confidence than any other single behavior. This is the habit of comparing yourself to others, of measuring your worth by someone else's achievements, of judging your value by someone else's possessions, of evaluating your success by someone else's standards.
Marathon is not just the thief of joy. Marathon is the assassin of confidence. When you compare your beginning to someone else's middle, you will always feel inadequate. When you compare your struggles to someone else's highlights, you will always feel insufficient. When you compare your reality to someone else's social media persona, you will always feel inferior. But here is what you must understand about comparison. It is always unfair because it is never complete. You are comparing your full story, including all your failures, fears, and struggles, to someone else's edited version, their public successes, their visible achievements. You are comparing your internal experience with all its doubts and uncertainties to someone else's external appearance, with all its confidence and assurance. This is not just unfair, this is impossible. The only comparison that makes sense is comparing yourself today to who you were yesterday, measuring your current performance against your past performance, evaluating your present capacity against your previous capacity. When you compete with yourself rather than others, you always have a fair contest. When you measure your progress rather than your position, you always have meaningful data. When you focus on your growth rather than others' success, you always have reason for confidence. But stopping comparison requires that you develop another crucial skill that confident people possess in abundance. This is the ability to trust your own judgment, to rely on your own wisdom, to follow your own intuition, even when others disagree, even when the crowd goes in a different direction, even when conventional wisdom suggests otherwise. Your intuition is not mystical nonsense. Your intuition is the accumulated wisdom of your experience, the integration of your knowledge, the synthesis of your learning, the combination of your conscious and unconscious processing. When you have a gut feeling about something, that feeling is based on information, even if you cannot articulate exactly what that information is. When you have an instinct about a decision, that instinct is rooted in understanding, even if you cannot explain exactly where that understanding comes from. Confident people learn to trust this inner guidance system, to honor this internal compass, to follow this personal GPS. They understand that they have access to wisdom that is uniquely theirs, insight that is specifically relevant to their situation, guidance that is perfectly suited to their needs. This does not mean ignoring advice from others or rejecting input from experts. This means integrating external information with internal wisdom, combining outside perspective with inside knowledge, balancing others' opinions with your own judgment. The goal is not to be right all the time. The goal is to be authentic all the time, to make decisions that are true to who you are and where you want to go.
As you learn to trust your inner wisdom, you must also recognize that confidence has an external component that many people overlook, but that makes a significant difference in how you feel about yourself and how others perceive you. This is the simple but powerful practice of dressing for success, of presenting yourself in a way that reflects your best self, of using your appearance as a tool for building confidence rather than undermining it. How you dress affects how you feel about yourself. When you dress well, you feel better about yourself. When you look good, you feel more confident. When your appearance reflects care and attention, your mindset reflects possibility and optimism. This does not mean you need expensive clothes or designer labels. This means you need clothes that fit well, colors that complement you, styles that suit you, accessories that enhance you. This means taking the time to groom yourself properly, to present yourself professionally, to show the world that you take yourself seriously. When you look in the mirror and like what you see, you start your day with confidence. When you know you look your best, you feel empowered to perform your best. When your outer appearance reflects your inner commitment to excellence, that excellence becomes more likely to manifest in your actions and results. But outer appearance means nothing without inner health, and confident people understand that physical fitness is not just about looking good, but about feeling powerful, not just about appearance, but about energy, not just about aesthetics, but about vitality. When you are physically fit, you have more energy for pursuing your goals. When you are healthy, you have more capacity for handling challenges. When you are strong, you feel more capable of overcoming obstacles. When you take care of your body, you feel more worthy of taking care of your dreams. Physical exercise does not just build physical strength, it builds mental strength. It does not just improve physical health, it improves mental health. It does not just enhance physical appearance, it enhances self-image. Every time you exercise, when you do not feel like it, you prove to yourself that you can do things you do not want to do. Every time you push through physical discomfort, you build tolerance for mental discomfort. Every time you complete a workout, you demonstrate to yourself that you can start something and finish it. This is why confident people make physical fitness a priority, not because they are vain about their appearance, but because they understand the connection between physical power and mental power, between bodily strength and emotional strength, between fitness and confidence. And just as you must exercise your body to keep it strong, you must exercise your voice to keep it confident. Confident people are not necessarily the loudest people, but they are people who speak up when they have something valuable to contribute, who express their opinions when those opinions can make a difference, who share their ideas when those ideas can help others. Too many people remain silent when they should speak, quiet when they should contribute, invisible when they should be seen. They have valuable thoughts, but do not share them.
They have important insights, but do not voice them. They have meaningful contributions, but do not offer them. Their silence does not serve them or anyone else. It robs them of the confidence that comes from being heard, from making a difference, from adding value. It robs others of the benefit of their wisdom, their perspective, their experience. You must commit to finding your voice
and using it, to developing your opinions and expressing them, to forming your thoughts and sharing them. This does not mean dominating conversations or talking for the sake of talking. This means contributing meaningfully when you have something meaningful to contribute. This means asking questions when you need clarity, offering suggestions when you have solutions, sharing experiences when they can help others learn. Your voice matters. Your opinions have value. Your thoughts deserve to be heard. The world needs what you have to offer, but only if you are willing to offer it. And finally, the ultimate foundation of unshakable self-confidence is your relationship with yourself, specifically your ability to make commitments to yourself and honor them consistently, to set standards for yourself and maintain them religiously, to create promises to yourself and keep them faithfully. Self-confidence is not just confidence in your ability to handle external challenges. Self-confidence is confidence in your ability to count on yourself, to trust yourself, to rely on yourself when you say you will do something and then do it. You build self-trust. When you commit to a goal and then achieve it, you build self-respect.
When you set a standard and then maintain it, you build self-confidence. But when you say you will do something and then do not do it, you erode self-trust. When you commit to a goal and then abandon it, this is why the promises you make to yourself are more important than any promises others make to you. This is why the commitments you keep with yourself are more valuable than any commitments others keep with you. This is why the standards you maintain for yourself are more crucial than any standards others maintain for you. Your relationship with yourself is the foundation of every other relationship in your life. Your trust in yourself is the basis of every achievement in your career. Your confidence in yourself is the source of every success in your future. But understand this clearly. Building unshakable self-confidence is not a destination you reach, but a journey you embrace. It is not a switch you flip, but a muscle you strengthen. It is not a gift you receive, but a skill you develop. It is not something you achieve once and possess forever, but something you build continuously and maintain consistently. There will be days when your confidence wavers, moments when your self-doubt returns, times when your fear tries to regain control. This is not failure. This is human. This is normal. This is part of the process. What matters is not that you never feel uncertain. What matters is that you act despite your uncertainty. What matters is not that you never experience fear. What matters is that you move forward in spite of your fear. What matters is not that you never have doubts. What matters is that you persist through your doubts. Confidence is not the absence of fear, doubt, and uncertainty. Confidence is the presence of courage, determination, and persistence in the face of fear, doubt, and uncertainty. And so, I leave you with this final truth, this ultimate realization, this empowering recognition. You already have everything you need to build unshakable self-confidence. You have a mind that can learn, grow, and adapt. You have a body that can move, act, and perform. You have a voice that can speak, contribute, and influence. You have a heart that can feel, connect, and inspire. You have a spirit that can dream, hope, and aspire. You have experiences that have taught you, challenges that have strengthened you, successes that have proven your capability. You have potential that is unlimited, possibilities that are endless, power that is extraordinary. What you need is not more resources. What you need is more resourcefulness. What you need is not more opportunities. What you need is more awareness of the opportunities that already surround you. What you need is not more confidence from others. What you need is more commitment to building confidence in yourself. The time for waiting is over. The time for wishing is finished. The time for wanting is complete. The time for building unshakable self-confidence is now, not tomorrow, when you feel more ready, not next week, when you have more time, not next month, when you have more knowledge, not next year, when you have more experience. Now in this moment, with this understanding, through these principles, by these methods, you can begin the most important journey of your life, the journey from self-doubt to self-confidence, from uncertainty to assurance, from fear to courage, from limitation to possibility. Your unshakable self-confidence awaits you. Go forth and claim it.